Found an old photo in a drawer tonight. Dust on the corners, but the smile looked alike. Different eyes, different light, like somebody untouched by goodbye. The room went quiet for a second too long. The city faded in the background noise, and for a moment I could almost hear the sound of that younger voice. Like when the future felt close enough to hold. Back when my heart wasn't afraid of getting old. I carried dreams like they were written in the stars. Never thought life could leave this many scars. I used to dance around an empty room, like every song was written just for me. Now I spend half my nights remembering the person I used to be. And I wonder where he went, the one who never second guessed, the one who wore his heart outside his chest. And every shadow in this room feels like another piece I lost too soon. And I miss the version of me you knew, the one who still believed the sky was blue, before the weight of all these years turned confidence into hidden fears. I miss the fire behind my eyes, the way I love without a disguise. Somewhere between then and now I changed, but every midnight feels the same. I'm still searching through the dark for that version I knew. The version of me you knew, the one who still believed the sky was blue, before the weight of all these years turned confidence into hidden fears. I miss the fire behind my eyes, the way I love without a disguise. Somewhere between then and now I changed, but every midnight feels the same. I'm still searching through the dark for the version me you knew. The calendar keeps turning pages fast, but some memories never become the past. They're hanging from the ceiling of my mind like old street lights I still follow sometimes. I know people say we're meant to grow, yeah, but nobody talks about what growth can cost. How becoming someone new can feel like grieving someone lost. And maybe he's still somewhere here, hidden underneath the years, waiting for me to remember. Maybe every broken piece still belongs to something whole. Still searching through the dark for the version you knew. I miss the version of me you knew, the one who still believed the sky was blue, before the weight of all these years turned confidence into hidden fears. I miss the fire behind my eyes, the way I love without a disguise. Somewhere between then and now I changed, but every midnight feels the same. I'm still searching through the dark for the version of me you knew. Maybe I was never gone, maybe I was just buried underneath survival. Maybe all the things I miss are still alive behind these walls. And if tomorrow finds me here again, looking through a photograph, I'll stop asking where I went and start remembering my way back. I miss still a part of me. Still a part of me. Old photo in my hands tonight, different eye, familiar light. Maybe I'm not as far away as I thought. Fade out. 2 in the morning, bathroom light humming above my head. The whole apartment asleep, but my thoughts won't go to bed. A mirror doesn't lie, but sometimes it asks questions. And tonight, I don't know all the answers. There's a shadow underneath my eyes. It wasn't there a few years ago. A tiredness I learned to hide. 1,000 things I never showed. I touch the glass like it's a doorway back to a life I almost recognized. Before all these lessons left their fingerprint across the surface of my mind. The silence feels louder after midnight. Every reflection gets harder to avoid, and suddenly I'm face to face with someone I spent years trying to become. But why do I still feel lost? Everybody says change is beautiful, but nobody mentions the morning. Nobody warns you that growth can sound like a stranger saying your name. Ooh. I'm staring at a mirror at 2 a.m., trying to remember who I've been. Tracing old dreams through tired eyes, looking for pieces I left behind. Cause somewhere between survival and healing, I forgot how freedom used to feel. And now this reflection looks familiar, but it doesn't feel like me. Ooh, staring at a mirror, 2 a.m., and it's staring right back at me. And it's staring back at me. Ooh, I remember laughing without thinking twice, walking through life with an open heart, believing every ending had a reason, and every broken thing could restart. Now every choice feels heavier somehow. Every goodbye leaves a deeper mark, and every year adds another layer between who I was and who I am. The funny thing about growing older is nobody notices while it happens. One day you wake up and nostalgia feels like a hometown you can never fully return to. Can't be way back. Can't be way back. Maybe I've been measuring myself against memories frozen in time. Maybe the person I'm in was never meant to stay the same. Staring at a mirror, 2 a.m., trying to remember who I've been. Tracing old dreams through tired eyes, looking for pieces I left behind. Cause somewhere between survival and healing, forgot how freedom used to feel. And now this reflection looks familiar, but it doesn't feel like me. But it doesn't feel like back at me. Ooh, what if the goal was never going back? What if healing isn't becoming who I was, but learning how to love who I became? Soft strings swell. Maybe every version of me still lives somewhere inside. The hopeful one, the broken one, the fearless one, the one standing here tonight. Staring at a mirror, two-way, finally seeing more than where I've been. Every scar and every sleepless night, every wrong turn, every fight, and maybe all these changing faces are mistakes that time created. Maybe they're chapters of a story, still learning how to breathe. I'm staring at a mirror, two-way, and for the first time, I don't look away. Oh, and for the first time, I don't look away. Bathroom light glowing soft and pale, city lights dancing through the blinds. The mirror still asks questions, but tonight I think I'm ready for them. Sometimes I try to remember who I was before the world started asking so much from me. Before every phone call carried responsibility. Before every decision for mine. Before the weight of everything. Back when the mornings felt slower and time wasn't slipping through my hands. Back when a Friday night meant freedom, not catching up on all my plans. I used to leave the house with nothing but hope inside my pocket and a dream. Now every step feels calculated, like light became a balancing beam. And I know that's what growing is, but some nights I miss the ignorance, the beautiful kind. Yeah. Back before the deadlines, back before the heartbreak, back before I learned that even good things fade. I didn't know how lucky I was to not know. Before the weight of everything, before life put me underneath, I carry sunlight in my chest and wore my worries lightly. Before the fear of getting hurt, before I knew what losing meant, I used to believe every closed door opened somewhere else again. And some nights I'd give anything to feel that lightness one more time. Before the weight of everything became mine. I remember calling friends at midnight, talking for hours about nothing at all. Now everybody's fighting battles, hidden behind unanswered calls. The years arrive without permission, stacking themselves one after another, turning dreamers into workers and children into someone's mother, someone's father, someone trying their best to hold it all together. Did he hold together? No. Nobody tells you when it happens, the exact moment innocent leaves. It just quietly disappears between ordinary days. Before the weight of everything. Before the weight of everything, before life pulled me underneath, beautifully untouched. Maybe wisdom always comes with scars. Maybe love always costs something. Strings slowly swell, and maybe the weight I carry now is proof that I survived every season I thought would break me, but didn't before the weight of it then. I thought being strong meant feeling free, but now I know strength looks different than it did in younger dreams. It's carrying all these memories without letting them bury me. It's learning how to move ahead while honoring what used to be. And though I miss that lighter heart, the younger soul inside of me, the weight of everything is also proof of everything I live, everything I live, everything I know. Back when the mornings felt slower, back when the future felt endless, back before the weight of everything, I was becoming who I am. Rain fades into silence. If I could sit across from you tonight, just for a moment, no time machine, no miracle, just one conversation, I wonder what you'd say when you saw who we became. You'd probably show up smiling, nothing bad had happened yet, like the world was still an open road and not a list of regrets. You'd ask me if we're happy now, if all those dreams came true. And honestly, I wouldn't know where to even start with you. Do I tell you about the people we lost, the nights we barely held on, or the way we somehow survived all the things we thought would destroy us? That you'd look at me with those hopeful eyes, and I remember what belief felt like. I'm having conversations with my younger self across the distance of 1,000 changes, trying to explain how life can break your heart and still be beautiful. He's asking why I worry so much now, why I don't laugh the way I used to. And I don't have an easy answer for the things time put you through. I'm having conversations with my younger self tonight. You tell me not to overthink things, not to let fear make decisions for me. You remind me how many sunsets I almost missed chasing certainty. And you'll probably be disappointed by some of the things I let go, the dreams I placed on shelves because I thought I had to grow. But then I tell you about resilience, about heartbreak, about healing, about learning that strength isn't loud, staying soft in a hard world. And for a second we both sit quietly, realizing neither of us had all the answers. I'm having conversations with my younger self across the distance of 1,000 changes, trying to explain how life can break your heart, still be beautiful. He's asking why I carry so much now, why my eyes seem a little older, and I don't have an easy answer for the weight upon my shoulders. I'm having conversations with my younger self, ooh, tonight. Then he asked me one question I wasn't prepared for. Pause. Are you proud of us? Strings swell gently and suddenly all the achievements, the failures, the mistakes, the losses don't matter as much as I thought they did. Because the answer is yeah. I'm having conversations with my younger self, and for the first time I stopped hiding pages from the story that became my life and all its imperfections. I tell them every dream didn't happen, but new ones came that mattered more. I tell them we got hurt sometimes, but we learned what healing's for. And when the conversation ends, before he fades into the night, he smiles and says, we made it farther than you think. The room is quiet now. The chair across from me is empty, but somehow I feel a little less alone. Soft exhale. Good night, kid. We'll be okay. Fade out. There's a strange place between who I was and who I'm becoming. I've been living there for a while now, not quite lost, not quite found, just somewhere between then and now. I still remember those younger days when every answer felt close enough to reach. Back when my future looked crystal clear from the shoreline of my dreams. Now the road bends in unfamiliar ways. The map I drew no longer matches the view. And every version of myself I've been feels like a stranger passing through. Sometimes I miss certainty more than I miss the past. 'Cause nobody tells you how confusing growth can feel when you're no longer who you were, but not yet who you'll be. I'm somewhere between then and now, between letting go and figuring out how, between old wounds and open skies, between goodbyes and new beginnings. Somewhere between fear and faith, trying to find my place. And every night I close my eyes, wondering who I'll be when I finally arrive. 'Cause I'm somewhere between then and now. Photographs still know my name, but they don't know the battles I've survived. They only capture frozen moments, not the reasons I've changed inside. I've learned that healing isn't straight lines, and closure rarely comes on time. Sometimes growth looks like standing still while rebuilding your mind, and every lesson left its fingerprints on the person standing here tonight. Maybe uncertainty isn't fair. Maybe it's proof that something new is forming underneath the surface. Only enemies will suffer. There's somewhere between none of us. I'm somewhere between then and now. Between then and now. What if I stop treating this chapter like a waiting room? What if this uncertain version of me deserves love too? Strength slowly rise, maybe becoming what's never about reaching a destination. Maybe life happens here in the middle between then and now. I'm somewhere between then and now. But maybe that's exactly where I'm meant to be somehow. Between every ending and every star, learning how to trust my heart. Somewhere between fear and faith, I'm finally giving myself grace. And every night I close my eyes, a little less afraid of what I cannot see. Between then and now, but maybe that's enough for not quite who I was, not quite who I'll become, but still moving, still growing, still here. Fade into distant city lights and rain. There's a place I go when the world gets too loud. No address, no front door, no one knows it exists except me. A house I built inside my mind, sitting somewhere beyond memory, past the roads I can't retrace, filled with pieces of old summers and familiar forgotten faces. The walls are painted with laughter from years I never thought would end. Photographs still hang in perfect frames when nobody had to pretend. Every room holds a different version of me, frozen in time, waiting literally. When reality gets heavy and life feels hard to recognize, I disappear behind those doors and close my eyes, and I'll close my eyes. I visit the times. The house I built inside my mind keeps old sunsets alive. When I don't know who I am anymore, it's where I go to find a little piece of myself again. There's a bedroom full of old ambitions, still glowing softly in the dark. A shelf lined with unfinished stories and maps of everywhere I'd start. The kitchen holds conversations I wish I'd never let in. The hallway echoes with voices of people I still miss. Sometimes I sit there for hours listening to ghosts that only exist inside my chest. But even beautiful memories can become hiding places if you stay too long. Hold back even by then. I visit the house I built inside my mind. I visit the house I built inside my mind, where nothing ever leaves and no one says goodbye, where every broken piece still fits and every dream survives. The house I built inside my mind keeps old sunsets alive. When I don't know who I am anymore, it's where I go to find a little piece of myself again. The windows are changed. Pause. Beyond them, there was another road, one I had never seen before, and for the first time, the house wasn't asking me to stay. It was asking me to leave. Strings swell and carry the memories with me. But I don't need to live there every night, 'cause every lesson that it gave still follows me outside. The house I built inside my mind was never meant to hold my life. It was a shelter while I healed, a place to rest a while. And now I finally understand the best parts came with me when I walked out the door. Photographs still hang, the door is still open if I ever need it again. But tonight, I'm heading somewhere new. Funny how a photograph can make you miss a life, even when you know that moment wasn't as perfect as it looks now. And I found the past. found a box beneath my bed tonight, packed with years I thought I'd left behind. Smiling faces frozen in the light, like time had somehow been kind. There we were on a summer afternoon, laughing underneath a golden sky. Looking at that picture now, you think we had it all. You'd never see the fights, the doubts, the tears we learned to hide. Memory has a way of editing the hard parts, leaving only the glow. 'Cause photographs don't tell the whole story. They capture the light, but not the worry. They freeze a second in a perfect frame, but never show the pain. Photographs don't tell the whole truth. They remember smiles but forget what we went through. And every time I look back, I have to remind myself that beautiful moment's still there tonight. There's a picture from her birthday years ago. Everybody gathered around the cake. You never know, I felt invisible, or how much I was pretending that day. Another one from an old relationship, the kind of photo people envy online. But behind those happy eyes, we already saying goodbye. Funny how the camera caught the sunset, but missed the storm waiting on the horizon. Maybe that's why nostalgia hurts, because we remember feelings, not facts. Because photographs don't tell the whole story. They capture the light, but not the worry. They freeze a second in a perfect frame, but never show the pain. Photographs don't tell the whole truth. They remember smiles, but forget what we went through. And every time I look back, I have to remind myself that beautiful moments still belong to complicated life. Maybe that's okay. Maybe memories aren't supposed to be evidence. Maybe they're just reminders that we were here, that we loved, that we tried. Strings slowly rise, even when things weren't perfect, they were real. That's not their responsibility. They were never meant to hold the truth, only a piece of it. Photographs don't tell the whole truth, but they still help me remember who I grew into. Every smile, every scar, every chapter left its mark, and even the imperfect moments deserve a place inside my heart. And close the box, slide it back beneath the bed. The memories stay, but somehow they feel lighter now.
Yo.
Heard somebody laughing today, the kind of laugh that takes over a room, the kind that doesn't ask permission, the kind I used to have, and for a second I miss mine. I used to laugh until my stomach hurts. Used to lose track of time with my friends. Used to believe a bad day was temporary, and every broken thing could mend. Back then my heart felt lighter, like it hadn't learned the weight of goodbye. Like disappointment was just a word and not something living behind my eyes. I didn't realize those moments were becoming memories, while I was living there somewhere between growing older and carrying too much. I got quieter. Oh, I miss my laugh, the way it used to fill the air, without hesitation, without a care. I miss that version of my smile that didn't have to fight through miles of overthinking every little thing. Oh, I miss my laugh. Sometimes I wonder where it went, or if it's hiding somewhere underneath everything I've been. I miss my laugh. Sometimes I wonder where it went, or if it's hiding somewhere underneath everything I've been. Life didn't steal it all at once. It happened one season at a time. A heartbreak here, a loss there, 1,000 little changes in my mind. Responsibilities moved in quietly. Anxiety learned my address. And somewhere in the middle of surviving, I forgot how joy sounds at its best. Now even happy moments feel careful, like I'm afraid they'll leave too soon. Maybe that's why nostalgia hits hardest. Not because I miss the past, but because I miss how I felt inside it. I miss my laugh, the way it used to fill the air, without hesitation, without a care. I miss that version of my smile that didn't have to fight through miles of overthinking every little thing. I miss my laugh. Sometimes I wonder where we went, or if it's hiding somewhere underneath everything I've been. I miss my laugh. Sometimes I wonder where we went, or if it's hiding somewhere underneath everything I've been. Then I remember something. The other night, pause, I laughed at a message from an old friend, and for a moment it sounded familiar. Not exactly the same, but close enough to make me stop and listen. Strings slowly rise. Maybe it never left. Maybe it just got quieter, waiting for me to come back. I miss my laugh, but maybe I'm hearing it again, in little moments here and then. Maybe joy doesn't disappear, maybe it survives the hardest years, waiting patiently beneath the scars. I miss my laugh, but tonight I think I understand it wasn't lost. It was growing with the rest of me, learning a different way to shine, and somehow that makes me smile. Small laugh escapes without me forcing it, without me noticing. And for the first time in a while, it feels like home. If I could meet myself again, not the person I am now, not the person I'm becoming, but the version I left behind somewhere along the way. I wonder, would we recognize each other? To see him standing on a quiet street, hands in his pockets, eyes full of plans, still believing every dream was possible, still trusting life would understand. He'd ask me where the years went, why my smile looks different now, why my shoulders seem a little heavier than he imagined somehow. And I struggle to explain everything that happened in between. How do you summarize a decade of becoming? How do you describe pain to someone who hasn't made it yet? If I could meet me again, would I be proud of who I've been? Would he see strength inside these scars? Or only distance from the stars we used to chase? If I could meet me again, would he understand the roads I've taken? I wonder why I let some dreams go to save myself. If I could meet me again, what would he say? What would he say? I tell him about the people we loved, the no ones we had to leave behind, the lessons hidden inside heartbreak, the battles that reshaped our minds. I tell him some dreams came true, just not in the ways we expected, and some of our greatest blessings arrived disguised as rejection. Then I tell him not to fear the future even when it hurts, because survival teaches things success never could. And maybe he'd smile, knowing we made it further than we ever thought we would. If I could meet me again, would I be proud of who I've been? Would he see strength inside these scars? Or only distance from the stars we used to chase? If I could meet me again, would he understand the roads I've taken? I wonder why I let some dreams go to save myself. If I could meet me again, would we be safe? Would we say? Would he say? Then I imagine him looking at me for a long quiet moment, pause, and saying something simple, something I wasn't expecting. You look tired, but you look stronger too. Strings slowly rise, and maybe the dreams that changed were never failures. Maybe they were directions. If I could meet me again, I think I'd finally understand the person I miss isn't gone. He's standing inside who I am. Every hope, every mistake, every road, every heartbreak built the life I'm living now, even when I couldn't see it then. If I could meet me again, I think he'd smile and tell me we're doing better than we think. The street disappears, a younger version fades into the night, but his voice remains somewhere inside me. Still believing, still hoping, still been strangers long enough. You and me, the person I became, the person I've been avoiding. Tonight feels like an introduction. I spent years chasing no reflection, trying to return to who I used to be, holding old photographs like instructions for a version that no longer fit me. Yeah. Every mirror became a comparison, every memory became a measuring line, and somewhere in all that, looking backward, I forgot this life was mine. I kept mourning old chapters without reading the page I was on. Maybe healing starts the moment we stop asking who we were and start asking who we're becoming. Yeah. This is a midnight reintroduction. Nice to meet the person I've become, the one who survived every storm and still found reasons to love. This is a midnight reintroduction to every scar and every lesson, to every dream that changed direction, and every reason I'm still here. Maybe I don't need to go back, maybe I just need to begin again. Yeah. There's a wisdom living in these tired eyes, stories hidden underneath this skin, strength I never noticed growing because I was too busy looking behind me. The truth is I've been changing quietly, like seasons no one sees arrive, and every loss left something valuable behind. Even when I couldn't recognize it at the time, the person standing here tonight isn't unfinished, just evolving. Isn't unfinished, just evolving. This is a midnight reintroduction. Nice to meet the person I've become, the one who survived every storm and still found reasons to love. This is a midnight reintroduction to every scar and every lesson, to every dream that changed direction, and every reason I'm still here. Maybe I don't need to go back, maybe I just need to begin again. Yeah, so here's to the version of me that kept going when nobody was watching. Pause. Here's to the nights I thought I was lost when I was actually growing. Here's to forgiving myself for taking longer than I planned, and here's to finally shaking hands with the person I introduction. Nice to meet the person I've become, the one who carries every chapter without letting it define him. This is a midnight to all the beauty and imperfection, to all the roads that led me here, even when I didn't understand them. Maybe the old me isn't missing, maybe he's living in everything I am. And tonight, for the first time, I'm glad we met again. The city sleeps outside the window, the room feels lighter somehow. No more introductions are needed, we're finally on speaking terms. Some dreams don't die, they just get quieter. They sit in the corners of our lives, waiting for us to remember that they were once everything. There was a notebook on my shelf tonight, filled with plans I used to swear I chased. Pages full of younger ambitions, written in a different handwriting. Back when nothing felt impossible, back when time seemed endless and kind, before reality started negotiating with the future in my mind. I closed the book, but the memory stayed open. Funny how abandoned dreams still know where to find you. Years later, at 2 in the morning, what about the dreams we left behind? The ones that still visit from time to time, the roads we never got to walk, the words we never got to write. What about the dreams we left behind? Do they disappear or simply change their shape? 'Cause sometimes I still feel them breathing somewhere underneath my life today. The dreams we left behind never fully leave. I wanted different things back then, different cities, different skies, different versions of success, different ways to spend my life. Some dreams faded for a reason, some simply outgrew their place, and some were sacrificed quietly to make room for other things. Love, responsibility, survival, growth, things nobody plans for, but everyone meets eventually. Yeah, maybe letting go wasn't giving up, maybe it was choosing what mattered most. What about the dreams we left behind? The ones that still visit from time to time, the roads we never got to walk, the words we never got to write. What about the dreams we left behind? Do they disappear or simply change their shape? 'Cause sometimes I still feel them breathing somewhere underneath my life today. The dreams we left behind never fully leave. And I realize something. Pause. Not every dream is meant to happen exactly the way we imagine. Some become lessons, some become memories, some become foundations for things we couldn't see coming. Strings slowly rising, some dreams don't end, they evolve. What about the dreams left behind? What about the reason we survived? Maybe every road we didn't take helped create the life we have today. Maybe they were never really left at all. Maybe pieces of them live inside every choice that brought us here, and now I carry them with gratitude instead of regret. The dreams we left can still matter. They just look different now. They just look different now. The notebook goes back on the shelf, but something feels different tonight. I didn't open it to mourn, I opened it to remember. Tonight the rain sounds like memory, like old conversations, old neighborhoods, or versions of me, walking through streets I haven't seen. I took a drive through the past tonight, past the corner store and the faded signs, past the park where we stayed too late, talking like we'd never run out of time. The buildings look a little older now, the sidewalks carry different names, but when the rain hits familiar streets, everything feels the same. For a second I swear I saw my younger self crossing through the headlights. Oh, yeah. Funny how places remember us long ago after we've changed. Funny how places remember us long after we've changed. There's a rain on familiar streets tonight, washing old memories into the light. Every corner holds a piece of who I used to be, standing quietly. There's rain on familiar streets tonight, and every drop feels like another page of light falling from the sky, reminding me that nothing stays the same, but nothing truly leaves. I passed the house where I learned heartbreak, the cafe where I dreamed out loud, the bus stop where I missed an opportunity I still think about now. Every street carries a different lesson, every window reflects a different year, and suddenly the distance between then and now doesn't feel so severe. Maybe I spent too much time thinking I lost those versions of myself, when they've been here all along, hidden in these places. Hey, now your city changed, I changed too, but somehow we're still connected. There's a rain on familiar streets tonight, washing old memories into the light. Every corner holds a piece of who I used to be, standing quietly. There's rain on familiar streets tonight, and every drop feels like another page of light falling from the sky, reminding me that nothing stays the same, but nothing truly leaves.
I used to think healing meant moving on, leaving everything behind. Ties. Maybe healing looks different. Maybe it means learning how to visit the past without living there. Strings rise gently, learning how to remember without wishing to return.
There's rain on familiar streets tonight, and for the first time I don't wanna rewind. Every corner holds a piece of who I used to be, but that's not all of me. There's rain on familiar streets tonight, turning old nostalgia into something bright. Every drop feels like a quiet blessing now, instead of a goodbye, because nothing stays the same, and maybe that's alright.
The traffic lights glow through the rain. The streets slowly disappear behind me, and I keep driving. I'm not away from the past, just forward. We out in the rainfall.
When I was younger, I thought growing pains had an ending. Like one day you'd wake up and suddenly have everything figured out. Nobody told me, but you're so smart. I remember being 17, thinking adulthood held all the keys, believing confidence would arrive one morning like sunlight through the trees. Now I'm older than I imagined, still learning lessons every year, still making mistakes I swore I'd outgrow, still facing unfamiliar fears. The truth is, nobody becomes finished, we're all just becoming. Every new chapter adds something different of you, and every answer creates new questions too. Growing pains don't end, they just wear different clothes, different names. Growing pains don't end, they follow us through every season, teaching us things we didn't know we needed. And every scar becomes a lesson, every love becomes perspective. Growing pains don't end, they help us grow. Growing pains don't end, they help us grow. Some nights I miss the certainty of believing life was simple then. But I don't miss the limits of what I understood back then, because every heartbreak taught compassion, every failure taught humility, every wrong turn led me somewhere I was supposed to be, even when I couldn't see it while it was happening. The discomfort of becoming has always been part of the journey, not proof you're lost. Growing pains don't end, they just wear different clothes, different names. Growing pains don't end, they follow us through every season, teaching us things we didn't know we needed. And every scar becomes a lesson, every loss becomes perspective. Oh, growing pains don't end, they help us grow.
Maybe the goal was never perfection. Maybe the goal was movement. Pause. To stay curious, to stay open, to keep becoming. Even when it's uncomfortable, strings slowly rise because stagnant water stays clear, but it never reaches the ocean.
I need all the answers, and the more I trust the process of becoming. caught my reflection tonight, not in a mirror, not in a photograph, just a moment when everything got quiet enough to notice how much I've changed. Oh, will it fit now? There's a face I've been carrying around that looks familiar from a distance, but some days when I really look closely, it feels like someone else's existence. The eyes still hold old memories, the smile still knows a few old songs, but somewhere between all these years, something shifted along the way, and I can't always explain what feels different. Maybe change happens slowly enough that we never notice it until one night we finally stop moving. There's a stranger in my reflection, looking back with my eyes, carrying stories I don't fully recognize. There's a stranger in my reflection. There's a stranger. It's so nights I miss who I used to be, but maybe that's because I haven't taken the time to know the person looking back at me. He survived things I never imagined, walked through storms I couldn't foresee, learned how to carry disappointment without letting it bury him completely. He's lost people, lost dreams, lost versions of himself along the way, and somehow he's still standing here, even on his hardest days. Maybe I've been calling him a stranger when he's the one who's known me longest. Maybe unfamiliar doesn't mean disconnected, maybe it just means I've grown. Stranger in my reflection, carrying stories I don't fully recognize. There's a stranger in my reflection. There's a stranger in my reflection. It's so nice I miss who I used to be. Maybe that's because I haven't taken the time to know the person looking back at me. So tonight, instead of asking, where did the old me go? Pause. I asked something different. Who is this person now? Strings slowly rise, and for the first time I'm blushing without judgment. There's a stranger in my reflection, but he's becoming less of a mystery now. Every scar, every lesson, every mile explains a little more somehow. There's a stranger in my reflection, but maybe he's not a stranger anymore. Maybe he's the result of every chapter I've lived through, and maybe he's worth getting to know. The room grows quiet. The reflection remains, but something feels different tonight. I don't look away. If I could write to every version of me, the one who was scared, the one who was broken, the one who almost gave up, I'd leave these words where they find them right when they needed them most. Dear younger me, know you're tired, I know you're carrying things you never say. I know you're trying to look strong for everyone while quietly falling apart some days. I know you're comparing your timeline to people who seem miles ahead. I know the pressure keeps you awake long after you've gone to bed. And I wish I could tell you what I know now. The things you're worried about won't all matter forever. And the things that truly matter will find their way to you. These are the letters I never sent to myself, the kindness I saved for everybody else, the words I needed in my darkest nights when I couldn't see the light. These are the letters I never sent to myself, saying you're doing better than you think, saying breathe, you're allowed to rest, saying you don't have to earn your worth every single day. He's saying dear older me, if you're reading this, I hope you learn to forgive a little more. I hope you stop carrying no guilt, like luggage you don't need anymore. I hope you learn that healing isn't linear, and happiness isn't a permanent state. I hope you've discovered peace can exist even when life doesn't go your way. Most of all, I hope you're proud how far we came, because survival deserves credit too. Even when nobody applauds it, even when nobody applauds it. Yeah, these are the letters. These are the letters I never sent to myself, the kindness I saved for everybody else, the words I needed in my darkest nights when I couldn't see the light. These are the letters I never sent to myself, saying you're doing better than you think, saying breathe, you're allowed to rest, saying you don't have to earn your worth every single day. It's strange how easily we comfort the people we love. Pause while speaking to ourselves like enemies. Strings slowly rise. So tonight I'm changing the conversation. I'm becoming someone who stays on my own side. These are the letters I never sent to myself, finally arriving after all these years, with every word I needed more is written clearly here. These are the letters I never sent to myself, and maybe it's not too late to read them now, to believe them, to live them, to let them heal something inside, because the person who needed these words still lives in me tonight. The envelope stays open on the table beside me. No stamp required, no address needed. It already knows where to go. I moved the furniture today, cleared out old boxes, opened doors I hadn't opened in years. And somehow every room had a memory waiting inside. The bedroom still remembers restless nights, ceilings covered in unfinished thoughts, dreams scattered across the floorboards like things I never quite forgot. The kitchen holds old conversations, coffee cups and midnight fears, echoes of who I used to be, still floating through the years. Funny how a place can keep a version of you long after you left. Every wall has witnessed something, every corner knows a secret. Every wall has witnessed something, every corner knows a secret. There's pieces of me in empty rooms, little fragments of old truths, versions of my heart I used to know, still lingering like perfume. There's pieces of me in empty rooms, moments I thought I outgrew, but every memory whispers softly, you were here too. And somehow that still matters, eh? Moments I thought I outgrew, but every memory whispers softly, you were here too. Yeah. And somehow that still matters. The hallway holds my younger footsteps, running toward futures I couldn't see. The living room remembers celebrations and nights nearly broke me. Every space became a witness to chapters no one else could read. The quiet victories, the hidden grief, the person I was learning to be. Maybe that's why leaving places hurts, even when we're ready to go, because part of us always stays behind. In the places that help shape us, because part of us always stays behind. In the places that help shape us, there's pieces of me, empty rooms, little fragments of old truths, versions of my heart I used to know, still lingering like perfume. There's pieces of me in empty rooms, moments I thought I outgrew, but every memory whispers softly, you were here too. Growth meant leaving everything behind. Pause, but maybe growth is different. Maybe it's carrying the lessons without carrying the weight. Strings slowly rise. Maybe the rooms aren't empty at all. Maybe they're full of gratitude. Strings is ugly, empty rooms, but they don't belong to the past alone. They're part of every step I take, every place I call home. There's pieces of me in empty rooms, and for the first time I don't feel sad, because every version that lived there helped create the life I have. And when I close the door tonight, I leave with more than memories, I leave with myself. The lights go out, the rooms grow quiet. inside those walls, living inside me. I used to think every goodbye had to hurt, had to be dramatic, had to leave a mark. But some endings arrive quietly like the last page of a book you already know about. Have you strained loving on the moments I spent so long holding on to moments, afraid they disappear if I let go, keeping old versions of myself alive long after they'd finished growing. Every memory felt sacred, every chapter felt unfinished somehow. But tonight the weight feels lighter than it's felt in a while now. Maybe healing isn't forgetting, maybe it's finally unclenching your hand. Not every ending is a loss, some endings are a mission to keep moving. This is a soft goodbye. This is a soft goodbye to yesterday, to every version of me that paved the way, to every dream that changed shape, every mistake, every heartbreak. This is a soft goodbye to yesterday, not because it didn't matter, but because it always will. And I don't need to carry it like a burden anymore. I used to revisit old memories, looking for answers they couldn't give, trying to rewrite endings instead of learning how to live. But the past has already spoken, its lessons written clearly now. And maybe honoring those moments means trusting them enough to leave them where they are without fear. The people we were did their job, they got us here. This is a soft goodbye. This is a soft goodbye to yesterday, to every version of me that paved the way, to every dream that changed shape, every mistake, every heartbreak. This is a soft goodbye to yesterday, not because it didn't matter, but because it always will. And I don't need to carry it like a burden anymore. Thank you to the kid who believed in impossible things. Pause. Thank you to the version of me who survived difficult years. Thank you to every chapter that taught me something, even when it hurt. Strings slowly right, I don't need to stay there to appreciate it. This is a soft goodbye to yesterday, to every road that slowly shaped my way, to every lesson hidden inside pain, every storm, every chain. This is a soft goodbye to yesterday, a gentle hello to tomorrow, because the story isn't ending, it's still unfolding. And for the first time, I'm excited to turn the page. The night feels different now, the memories are still here, They sit beside me instead of on my shoulder. I spent so many nights trying to find my way back to who I used to be, that I almost missed who I was becoming. There was a time I thought healing meant returning to the person I was before life changed. Before the losses, before the lesson, before everything got rearranged. But every season leaves its fingerprints. Every storm rewrites the shore. And no matter how hard we try, we can't be who we were before. The river keeps moving, and so do we, yeah. Maybe growth isn't betrayal. Maybe change isn't loss. Maybe becoming is a point or cause. And I'm becoming someone new, not because I wanted to, but because life kept teaching me things I couldn't learn any other way. I'm becoming someone new, carrying on new dreams and new truths, learning how to standing in the mirror today. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's beautiful too. Oh, I still carry pieces of my younger self. The wonder, the hope, the restless heart. But they've learned to share the space now, with wisdom earned in the dark. The scars don't make me weaker, the mistakes don't erase my worth. Every chapter gave me something I couldn't see at first. And looking back, I wouldn't trade every lesson away, even if I could, because every version of me was trying their best with what they knew. Oh, want me to work, want me to work, baby. I'm becoming any other way. I'm becoming someone new, carrying on dreams and new truth, learning how to love the person standing in the mirror today. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's beautiful too. For so long treated change like an enemy. Pause, something to resist, something to feel. But tonight I see it differently. Change wasn't taking me away from myself, it was introducing me to parts of myself I hadn't met yet. Streams slowly rise, and suddenly future doesn't feel so frightening. I'm becoming someone, and for the first time I don't need to apologize for it. Every lesson, every scar, every teeth belongs here. I'm becoming someone, and I finally understand the truth. The person I was and the person I am were never in competition. They were building each other all along. And now I can see is beginning to change, and maybe that's fitting, because so am I. For a while, answer everything except myself. Expectation, responsibility, survival, fear. Tonight feels different. Tonight I'm remembering who I am. At every minute I spent years becoming what was needed, shape-shifting through seasons of my life, being strong when everyone depended on me, being quiet when I wanted to fight. I wore so many different versions, and somewhere along the way I lost track of the voice beneath the noise trying to call me back. And every mirror knew before I did something was missing. Not a dream, not a person, not a place, just myself. Ooh, I'm learning my name again, letter by letter, piece by piece, finding the parts of me that never truly disappear. I'm learning my name again, after years of being everything else, and maybe coming home was never about a destination. Maybe it was about myself. I remember what made me laugh, what made my heart stay awake at night. The songs I loved, the dreams I carried, the things that made me feel alive. Somewhere beneath all the responsibilities, beneath the pressure and the pain, those pieces never left completely. They were waiting for me to return patiently, without judgment. When I did you be the shoes, reconnecting with what was always there. I'm learning my name again, letter by letter, piece by piece, finding the parts of me that never truly disappear. I'm learning my name again, after years of being everything else, and maybe coming home was never about a destination. Maybe it was about myself. I used to think I needed permission to become who I wanted to be. Pause. But tonight I realize I've had it all along. Strings slowly rise. The person I've been searching for has been searching for me too. Gave me, but the one my soul remembers when everything gets quiet. I'm learning my name again,
and every step feels a little lighter now. Because I'm no longer chasing myself, I'm finally walking beside myself.
And after all these years, it feels like enough. The city keeps glowing outside, the night keeps moving forward. Somewhere inside my chest, something familiar returns when I whisper my name. It sounds like home. Oh. Oh. The funny thing about searching for yourself is realizing you were never as lost as you thought. I spent so many years looking back through old photographs and old mistakes, trying to find a version of me I thought life had taken away. I searched in memories and old places, in conversations that had long since ended, certain that somewhere along the road I had become disconnected from the person I used to know. But every chapter, every heartbreak, every lesson was quietly leading here. The best parts never left, they were hidden underneath the weight I felt, beneath the scars, beneath the change, beneath the years that rearranged me. The best parts never left, they were waiting patiently inside myself. Through every storm, through every night, keeping a little light alive. The best parts never left. The dreamer still lives inside my chest. The hopeful kid still looks toward the sky. The part of me that loves too deeply never really said goodbye. He just learned new ways to survive, new ways to carry all the pain without losing the softness that made him who he was in the first place. And suddenly everything makes sense. And maybe healing wasn't finding myself, maybe healing was remembering and what it lighter to be. The best parts never left, they were hidden underneath the weight I felt, beneath the scars, beneath the change, beneath the years that rearranged me. The best parts never left, they were waiting patiently inside myself. Through every storm, through every night, keeping a little light alive. The best parts never left. To every version of me that thought they were broken, pause, you weren't broken, you were becoming. To every version of me that thought they were lost, you weren't lost, you were finding your way. Strength slowly rise, and every step mattered, even the painful ones. Slid out every established, and never you asked. The best parts never left. Now I can finally see them clearly. Oh, in every scar, in every lesson, in every reason, I'm still standing. The best parts never left, they grew stronger through everything I felt. Through every storm, through every night, through every tear I cried. night is ending, the sky is turning gold, and for the first time in a long time I don't miss who I used to be, because I finally understand he's still here.